for your support with our efforts. But to just sort of walk through some numbers first, just to take a look at what we've done in Starke County up as of today. In Knox, we're basically completed or just about there. And that's $1.8 million invested. North Judson, just about completed. Coons Lake is underway. Hamlet, you asked about that earlier. That's we're calling that underway, but it's in the permitting, so you'll probably see construction starting there really soon. But we also have some ICP addresses that are involved with one of the Indiana connection programs that we work with, and there's about 200 homes involved in that. There's 300,000 involved with that. That adds up to about a $5.3 million investment on behalf of Starke County. That's not costing you anything to make the impact within the county. The exciting news is that what's happening with the grant that we talked about. So the awards of that grant just came out very recently. We're one of the recipients. You're one of the recipients for your county. So the total project cost is just under $12 million. There's going to be an $8.2 million SURF contribution. The grant money is just right under $3 million. And of course, when we were talking with you last time, we were hoping you made a commitment with us for $500,000. And the impact of the total households impacted is 4,365 addresses. The grant's going to fund 3,176 of those. So SURF's going to make sure that we contribute in, and the difference right around 1,200 addresses will be impacted. I think what was real important, we talked about like the wireless versus fixed,
yes,
and fiber. I think we talked this morning with the commissioners about this. There's around 750 addresses involved in this that are not fiber, but with fixed wireless. But out of that, we're also going for 48 eligible addresses right now with another round of ICP that'll be awarded later in July. That impacts almost 50 more addresses, which only leaves the difference of about 700 addresses. Of course, our goal is to try to get everybody converted to fiber as fast as possible. So on the heels of all of that is coming BEAD that we've been kind of talking about. So all of this sort of plays into the, we hope we can kind of continue in that spirit of cooperation, lean on you for support. We will be back here in the near future to ask for another round of, like we did with the next level connections, get your support to help us with what we want to do with BEAD. But when we're better prepared to show you what that looks like and what kind of impact it can have, then we'll be back here. And hopefully we can continue with your support. Probably a minute and a half.
that was really great.
Is there any questions? The main thing is this is very exciting for everybody. I think the residents, anyone that's here this morning heard that, and you should be excited for the impact that's going to happen here in the next 18 months.
Do you happen to have a map that shows where the connections will be made and where there might be opportunities for others to be connected to?
So probably you're talking like more detail than what these maps here did that you saw with the dots. Did you see this earlier?
I think I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's some maps in here, but I think we can come back with what you're asking for, maybe even print something larger so and kind of show you the impact. Larger. Yeah, larger.
Yeah.
I know, me too.
It looks like it's been run over.
Even on the screen we had this morning, it's kind of hard to see the route and the dots, but it gives you a pretty good summary where we are today. But yeah, we can come back here with more detail. Maybe we're actually working with your EDC to see if we can maybe put a little meeting together away from all this and just focus on just the topic of broadband. Maybe host it at their office and kind of walk out a little bit more about the overall plan with BEAD.
Cool. We have 2 EDC members on our board, and actually we're going to be talking about some good news about getting a director hired. So we should be getting that track too.
Jerry said he'd be here, but I think he's out of town today. So just the
might be, but that's all right.
Okay.
We can bring the message back, can I?
Yeah. So, okay. Anything else?
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Like I said, I'm real pleased with my service so far. It's nice joining up with you guys, and
Good. Thank you.
I appreciate also that you guys were given that Visa card. I made a donation with it. I'm excited about that too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very good. We appreciate everything.
Thank you. So before we get started on our next item, which is the 911 system, I'll just ask for a motion to approve the minutes from May 10th, 2024.
I'll make that motion.
A motion from Kay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Howard. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And is there any opposed? Just, who's on the end today? Bruce, please make sure, let's make sure we get it back.
And then I just.
Then Rachel always wants to choke me for that.
I sent out your joint session.
First you get there,
today-
the next thing you want
for
to
the
pay.
approval.
There's no.
Okay, right, let's say they're not here though, right? And then is Chief Dispatcher Noonan on,
Stacy said she's unavailable and asked me to.
oh, then we're gonna have to wait till next time.
Yeah. Do what we can, but I did bring out the copies of the
Yeah,
quote that she,
well, we had already approved this in previous and discussed this in previous meetings about using ARPA funds to make, in fact, yeah, right, it's still on the board, so.
the
The
exact number hadn't been brought up, so.
right, we knew the ballpark of it, Is there any discussion? So, I thought it was 31.
34. I think you did call some other counties that were using.
Yeah, I've got a whole.
That's right, that was
If
one of the
anybody
things.
This one here.
wants of, other counties and such jurisdictions that are using it.
Send that back.
Any discussions, I'm gonna make a motion.
It's just, it's all recording equipment, right? Alright, since we previously approved this, I will make a motion that we accept the quote from Nelson Systems for the recording equipment in the amount of $34,184.09 to come from the ARPA. I don't know which ARPA. Pardon me?
Just ARPA fund.
Just ARPA fund. That is my motion.
We have a motion from Todd, is there a second?
I'll second
A
it.
second from Kay, is there any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
The next item we have before us is the establishment of the use of funds for the perpetuation fund from Andy. We do this every year. Does anybody have any questions or discussion? Right.
No, it's just the speaker down there.
Is there,
If you have-
is there anybody online?
No, maybe.
Did you have anything you wanted to add or do you want us to vote?
Yeah, finish that one first.
This one?
No, finish the
Yeah.
resolution first.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, I don't have anything to add if anybody doesn't have. any
Okay,
questions.
the ordinance is an ordinance establishing the use of recorders perpetuation fund and mileage during calendar year 2025 for Stark County, Indiana, ordinance number 007 of 2024. Would someone like to make a motion?
Also move.
We have a motion from Bruce. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Howard. And did you have discussion? Any
So on that, there's not just mileage, there's office supplies, and there's postage. Just to clarify, but there's 3 different things on there, and then that's separate.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? All in favor, raise your hand. And then,
So Dave, all the training that's done by all the other office holders in the county is paid for out of this fund, and the only collections for this fund is through her office,
That's
Yes.
correct.
right?
Yes.
We maybe need to look at collecting some fees from other permits.
I think this is pretty standard though.
Okay,
It's statutory. yeah.
Yes, all right.
okay.
On the backside, I did do a little breakdown of what those costs were. Sorry, Kay, it is little.
It says amusement parks. What does it mean?
Amusement parks, there's no amusement parks over there.
It seems pretty straightforward.
Well, he's basically asking you.
To allow me $1,200, because we have no money left in the general fund.
All right, I didn't catch that part. 1,200 to finish.
Finish the year out. And then,
Is that gonna be enough though for the rest of the meetings after? Because we
These
have.
are all state called statutory meetings, right?
No,
No,
no, but it's my training. So that's why I have my training requirements down there that I see.
yeah, well, it's
State
so
called-
It's not a state called meeting, but it's my
statutory.
For
required,
your, it's for your position.
yeah.
Yes.
state called statutory meetings can be paid out of the no appropriation fund, which means, it's a state called meeting, so we have a no appropriation fund that can be paid from. This elected official training fund is funded through recordings, but this money can be used for AIC trainings. You can pay state called meetings out of it, but I mean, I try not to because you don't want to spend down that balance for no reason.
Like there's a September meeting coming up. Like, is that gonna be enough?
I think I put you guys on the, I told all the department heads that there is no money in this fund anymore. There's like $400. So when the AIC conference comes in September, that's when everybody, digs into that fund. Well, we're not gonna have money. So you're most
That's what I'm asking
likely
you now.
going to get other requests for funding for training.
Or they can take it out of their own training funds if they have any
If
funds
they
left.
have any, a lot of departments don't
Do you not have,
budget their training in the county general funding.
yeah, I do not have, so for AIC, I am an actual board member, so, my registration fee is, absorbed by AIC, so it would just be my lodging for AIC.
We'll look at a budget history on that when we do our budget workshop too, just to see like how this year are we that much short and years past not.
It's because, so all these years, like when I first became auditor, I think we had like a $15,000 balance maybe. But all these years, that fund has never been used until about 3-4 years ago-ish. So basically, all the elected officials started going to trainings, which rightfully so, but it has spent down that balance that we've been carrying over year to year. And we just don't collect enough to support now what our elected officials want to go to trainings for. We don't have enough revenue to support that, so they need to start budgeting it in their actual budget. Their county general budget.
Well, either that or we create a training line somewhere. I've got maybe an idea. We'll talk to commissioners about it. I think the commissioners should still have oversight where it's not just automatic and we just don't start creating a bunch of,
Well, yeah, the
I mean,
commissioners would
not,
still have.
Atlanta's department is different because it's a statutory training, but I'm just saying as far as.
Still have
I
to
mean-
approve the claim to go to
Right.
that training.
And
But
I'm
I'm-
not the only office that has statutory training, the clerk, the
Right.
auditor, the treasurer.
Yeah.
So they-
I'm talking about the expanded amount. Well, we'll think about it. I mean, we've got time. It's just something to think about in our budget. We'll talk.
But for the remainder of this year, I don't know. I'm the only place that I can suggest is doing an additional appropriation.
So you're saying that we should look at doing an additional appropriation to finish up, so we have the money for training?
I'm a big advocate for training, so like, we learn a lot when we go to training. Change so much. Yes, they do.
Well,
So-
and I think with the current atmosphere that we have across the country, I think it's important that we be trained.
So yeah, I would support trying to find the money somewhere for the trainings.
And I can do the same thing with training out of my perpetuation fund, but I can't do it this year. I
Well-
can, if you have to do it the year
In
before,
advance, yeah.
so.
But you probably will be getting more requests from department heads to fund their training for AIC for the remainder of the year.
Is there any reason why we shouldn't be entertaining that, Mr. President?
That's what I'm sitting here thinking about. I mean, I hate the thought of an additional appropriation, but I mean.
Do.
Um, what about discretionary funds from the commissioners?
We don't have any extra money anywhere in county general, we don't have any extra appropriation anywhere in county general that I can move over for training.
In the commissioner's budget, there's nothing there.
No,
You already looked.
in the commissioner's budget, we're paying an employee right now, and I need to save money to transfer over for that employee. There is no additional appropriations in the commissioner's budget that I can move around this year.
You got me now. Yeah, I understand.
So the easiest, and additional appropriations aren't bad when you can fund them and when you need them. I would say, I would suggest seat it, training and seat it. Can't do it out of county general, you can't do it out of elected official.
Yeah, it should be
Seated.
seated. Should be,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that
Obviously, yeah.
would be fine with me.
So do you want to set a amount tonight? Okay, we're gonna approve $10,000.
Do we have to do that tonight or could
That's
we?
what I was gonna say. Can we wait
Can we wait
to the
till
next
next month?
meeting and figure out like forecast how much it's gonna be? I don't wanna over appropriate either.
No,
Or under appropriate and have to come back and do it again.
right.
So, but try to get a good handle on
If
it.
we under appropriate, it's just gonna have to be no. I mean, at some point too, sometimes we just have to say no.
I would suggest, since this fund is depleted now. For 2025 and moving forward, you guys need to think about, okay, we'll give the clerk $1,000, we'll give the auditor $1,000, we'll give the recorder $1,000, like you should give departments limits. So,
I
it's
agree.
a fair thing all the way around.
I agree. But first, let's look at the numbers though from this year and the past, just so we can use it. You know, be a little bit more insightful on how we do that.
That 4,500 is about an average over the last few years.
4,500 for everybody or just you?
That's what goes into the
So
account
brings
yearly.
in-
What it brings in, right?
Yeah.
That's not enough to support.
But obviously, we're spending more than that on
Yeah.
training, right?
Yeah.
That's, yeah. Okay. So we can wait on yours too then till next month, right? On this request. I mean,
Well,
we're-
I mean, we have to
it's not
pay
gonna stop
for
you from going to your,
ASC's not till September, so we have time.
rooms open up July 1st.
that doesn't stop us from making room. Do we
If
pay them
you
up
took-
front?
No,
Is it possible
Do
to
you pay
take
them when we check out?
But I don't have anything.
every document that's
So I mean,
recorded?
I guess I could cancel my reservation.
No, I'm not canceling any, right? For which one? For September?
For AIC, yeah, no, like, I'm just saying, if you guys don't approve it, then
Every document that's recorded with you, do I understand right, $1 goes into
Yes.
this fund, right?
$1,
Okay, and it's, what is it, $10 to record?
25.
25. Is it possible to take more, you're already charging the $25, so I'm not suggesting you charge more, that's not my point. But my point is, instead of taking $1, take $2, or would that hurt other funding that
So
fund?
it would, because,
That's-
part of it goes, I think $8 goes into the general fund.
Okay,
$5 per deed goes into
okay,
the
so
second corner.
there's no other
So,
monies. that-
Yeah, all of our fees are actually broke out to different parts of
Okay,
the county funds.
really,
So if we wait till next month, is that gonna work even
You'd
though
have
it's
to,
early
we'd have to
booking?
look up by
What's that?
statutory code if, you'd have to change the
Yeah.
ordinance or the. how-
Why don't we just put some thought into this and create a training fund and seed it? Work with the commissioners on it, that way the commissioners can have it for their next meeting. I wouldn't cancel your reservations, I mean, we're talking September, like
Oh, they
Yeah.
can still, I mean.
other people are gonna wanna go too.
Any department head can still go online, they can book the reservation, it's
Yeah.
not gonna charge us anything, and. I'm sure that, I think that, because the council likes to go to AIC conference, so I'm sure that they'll put money.
Well, there's other, I mean, we might have to look at this a little bit better, though, I mean, instead of like, and I don't know if this happens, I don't know about all departments, because not all of us go. But in some cases, it might not be the whole department that goes, I mean, we might have to talk. When it comes to personnel management, we should talk to the commissioners about this too. So both boards put our heads together and come up with a good solution for that. Is that agreeable with you, Don?
absolutely. I never went to one.
Okay.
We're not gonna prevent you from going. We know you do a lot. You're always recognized for a lot of things we know you work hard, so it's not our intention. Just makes sense to think this through.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess in terms of making it quicker, a lot of these things were, things that I wanted to bring up at this meeting. The budget workshop, in the past, we've done it the morning of the meeting, of our regular meeting. I think it's been effective, so it'd be the morning of our July meeting.
The only problem with that, and I just thought about it, because I know we already talked about it, is the commissioners meeting is at 9:30 that day. So I don't know if
Have
they
it after their
would
meeting.
move their meeting or not,
We'll have it after their meeting.
like
We'll schedule it for
11.
10:30. If they run over, they run over. We'll start,
Maybe schedule a meeting for 9, Rachel said 9:30,
Okay,
that'd give us a half, extra half.
and 10:30
You
for
do that, yeah.
budget.
Oh, yeah, I'm on Eastern time, so it's
Okay.
not early for me.
Oh, yeah,
That's not early.
What's the
Well,
date?
watch,
July?
right,
No, it'd be July 15th.
Yeah, to my.
and Rachel, have you already communicated anything to? Because I obviously people are away, but they still know that they're not building their own raises in. You know, all those kind of things, like
They
the council's
turned in
gonna turn all that,
3%, so they built in a 3%.
but like nobody went 8%, like so far 15 or whatever, so we have to,
8%.
okay. And did they fix that?
No.
Or are we fixing it? Okay,
We were fixing.
okay. Are there any other questions or discussion about the workshop? Don, do you think somebody from the commission will be able to make that?
I should be able to.
Okay,
If not,
thank
I'll
you.
ask one other.
And still your regular council session at 4:30?
Yeah.
For that day?
That's what, July 15th or
July
17th?
15th.
Wait a minute. I just for discussion real quick, what we've done before though is if we're in session already. And we stay in session, that might have an opportunity like
You just adjourn, right?
I can-
adjourn and restart, that we wouldn't, you know what I mean, if we can start
I
earlier.
can post your regular council session immediately.
Okay with
following
everybody?
the budget
Just in case we
workshop.
get done early, then we'll do our council meeting, that way the public knows too.
So don't post it for.
Okay with me.
So 10:30, right? Is that what you said?
Are you guys good with that?
Right, Rachel? 10:30?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, well, they are.
The next thing was this quarterly department audit, so. Obviously, you know, as we learn things, you know, sometimes we make some adjustments and. What has come to my attention lately in interacting with different departments is that there are situations where we have a ledger book. For departments, like for rentals or for cash activities. But what I found out was that we don't really audit those, and so. I'm gonna ask the commissioner's blessing for this too, but what I'd like to see is that every department that has a black book. Audits it quarterly and compares it to what they deposit in the auditor's department. I feel like down the road, I picked it up. State Board of Accounts is gonna pick it up, you know, so. I wanted to get the council's blessing with a motion, to put that into play. To start doing that with all departments, and Rachel can reach out and find out who all does that. I'm not sure. I haven't investigated what all, but several of departments do that. They're not doing, I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong. I'm just saying when you handle cash, it needs to be audited.
Talking about why is this being,
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion from Bruce. Is there a second?
I'll second
A
this.
second from Todd. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? I wanted to offer, and I did this last year with fajitas. I thought quite a few people enjoyed it. I probably won't do fajitas this time just because I couldn't get my Blackstone hot enough, but it turned out okay. And highway department still asked me about the fajitas. I think I might make it, but I'm gonna donate the food again and but was thinking maybe about doing something in July, maybe that same week that our meeting is or something, but does anybody have any opposition to that or? Have you had any ideas about the date at all yourself or anything?
Do it the next day, like that Tuesday, July 16th.
I'm game for that. Tuesday, July 16th. How does everybody feel
I'll
about
just take a
that?
week off then, I guess.
I think I might just do hot dogs or hamburgers. I don't know.
Taking off with hot dogs.
Good hot dog. Good hot dog.
Steak on there.
And something for vegetarian too, so
That seems like a joke.
it's.
Cheapskate.
Let me think about it. Maybe I'll make sloppy joes or something. I don't know. Maybe burgers, but I'm talking a good hot dog. It's not.
Did you?
A cop out.
They all burn up my face.
Oh, vegetarian.
So July 16th.
Hot dogs are vegetarian. you'll be
At
fine.
11.
At 11, all right. And then, the other thing that, has come to us is that, I've been interacting with the city court to find out how things have been going, talk to the judge is, happy. talked to Angie several times. I even cut down a bush there the other day that I saw choking one of the trees out front that I really like, so I took my own, I think I told you I did that, didn't I, Don? Okay, sorry, I meant to tell you this, I wasn't
Alright.
stepping on any toes, but I just went ahead and did it myself. But I think city court is working well. In my discussions, with the judge, you were there. We also got feedback that it's still an effective thing for the type of offender we have here. It fits well, with what we've got going on financially too. So I'm just gonna break in and talk a little, just a second about the public defender situation also. Brought down up to speed on this. We'll be talking about it more in the future. There's really not a lot to discuss today. But we reached out to the Public Defender Commission to talk again about getting the reimbursement program. So really quickly, I'll just explain to you where the situation we have in Starke County. We just don't have any attorneys. We've had 2 attorneys that have been handling all of our public defense and all of our chin cases, which are like family type cases. One of them is going to be going to the prosecutor's department. So that puts us down to 1, and that scares me now because people have rights, even if they don't have the funding to have a fair trial, they have the right to a fair trial. So we're responsible for that. So I don't have an answer for you today. Like I said, Don will keep the commissioners abreast. I'll keep you guys abreast. Right now, as the first stage, is what's going to happen is we have engaged the Public Defender Commission. The judge is on board. And the first part about it is looking at metrics. It's not going to be cheap. It's going to be a lot more money. We're going to have to dig a little bit deeper to do it. But I also don't have a good idea on where the numbers sit because, interestingly enough, Pulaski County has like 11 attorneys. And like, just to give you an idea how that works is like, there'll be some that's on contract, some of it's hourly on how they pay it. Then I asked them to look at Jasper County, and then Jasper County has like 6 attorneys, but more contracts. So it varies. And the reason why that's going to vary too is obviously it's not going to necessarily bring any attorneys moving to Starke County right away or anything like that, but we're going to have to work with other attorneys, and some of it's going to be contract, some of it's going to be hourly. I don't know what that's going to cost. I will tell you that it's not going to be cheap. I can give you maybe a thought on the top of my head of, the neighborhood, but, so going back to the city court thing. So why is city court important? Just so the public understands city court and why we do it here. Again, I mentioned that about our type of offender. If we don't keep city court, then we have to bring the misdemeanors into that mix also. And I'm going to tell you, it will double
Or more.
It will double that budget that we're going to be seeking.
To be expanded too, if I have.
Clerk staff, a bunch of it, prosecutor, it would be very cost prohibitive. But again, I don't want to put any attorneys in the room on the spot, but it also is better for the misdemeanor offender in terms of just their time that they have to maybe spend in jail or things like that. It'd be different if we had a barrage of other misdemeanors, but for our offender population, and again, I'm not an expert on these things. I'm not an attorney, but I get this from the judge and other people, that this working out. So I wanted to bring that up. Back to the original item is that we have our city court invoice here. And I feel like they've done a really good job working with the sheriff's department. Sheriff Rosa, Tony has helped them with things, but they have a really nice office over there. If you haven't seen it, maybe stop by sometime. The only one more thing is Mona's retiring and
I know.
beginning of next year, so I guess she's gonna have to find somebody to help her. But logistically, it's working out really well. It'd be nice if it was like attached to the courtroom itself, but it's still been working out. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that have used city court, and they've said that they were satisfied with with what was there. You have a bill before you for $49,998.42.
It'd probably be that much a month if we had funded it.
Yes, easily, yes.
Or more.
So I'm looking for discussion, motion.
What are we paying for it?
Oh, I'm sorry, and I'm suggesting that we take that from seated. I don't see any other logical place for that, I think as we plan next year, we're gonna moving back to what we know that's in the horizon, starting with 2025, we're gonna have other more creative funds coming in, and we can adjust other funds around. So, but for now, seated would be the best place to take that from.
Are there revenues that come in from the court?
Oh, they're all
into county.
from the city court, the revenues from the city court going to the, and the.
They go into the 7100 series, well, 7000 series, which that 7000 series is all like fines, fees, forfeitures, coroner education fees, seatbelt, all of that stuff that gets sent to the state. So not really.
So if the city no longer wanted to fund this, why are they receiving the funds from the court? Because the city didn't want any part of it. Isn't that why we went out to the county highway?
County highway, you mean?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
county jail, I meant.
Yeah, are they getting the money from those?
We basically, this is the offset, from my understanding, this is the offset.
Right.
So we asked city court to stay open and we told city court we would pay them to stay open,
Right.
whatever the offset is.
Yeah,
Of
this
the
is,
fees
this
that
is
they-
the balance from
Yeah.
what
Okay.
gets paid, and then this is what's left over.
All right, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, and. Well, no, we didn't buy anything from them either when we brought it over. I mean, and the other thing too is I commend Angie, like she found some funds for furniture.
See,
There were a couple other things that she paid for herself too.
That's what's 5 months, so it's $10,000 a month.
That much for
I
the
mean,
zone.
It's cheap. You couldn't even do nothing for that much, unfortunately.
He was just saying it's a lot
It's
cheaper.
a lot less than what I had for 5 months.
Yeah,
I think when we were talking a few years ago, it was gonna be, I mean,
200,000.
200.
yeah, I know.
We were
That's what I'm
thinking that
saying.
was the ceiling, so.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I will make a motion if we pay the Knox City Court invoice. From January 1st to May 31st, 2024, out of CEDAT for $49,998.42.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second from Kay. Is there additional discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Okay, then, under the additional column, we have the auditor additional appropriations.
For all the additional appropriations that you've already approved this year, this is just a formality. They need to be published.
All right, you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, we gotta make these one separate motion, right? Okay.
Run it all in one.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the following funds and appropriation of money. 11,1161, $2,603, $263,825.27. 11,1169, $208,850. 8950 ARPA, $275,000. 1112 seated, $181,000. Fund 11,117.3, 11,1176 MDH, $500,000. 11,1161,168, $40,000. 1114 jail seated, $43,790.
Beautiful.
We have a series of motions from Todd. Is there a second?
Not reading them again.
Second from Kay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is there any opposed?
Make sure you sign under the eyes on that resolution for each one of those funds.
Maybe. You got the eyes on the wrong side.
I don't have the eyes on the wrong side. The state has the eyes on the wrong side.
That's what messes you up,
Yeah,
is it's on the left.
yeah, I want to on the other side.
Yep, I messed it up that time. I did. Don't worry, several people haven't. looked.
Yeah, I did too. Give me a line, Dave. I got something real quick, and then we'll get to point trying to talk now. We'll talk on. I promise.
That's one other thing. Oh, the other thing with wait.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's go to the council first. Well. Auditor Justin, anything?
I just get over me. You didn't want me to answer.
I said Auditor Justin.
You didn't talk fast enough. Yeah, that's Thursday, right? My name. Oh, okay.
This is my last meeting with you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just want to thank you for everything
What,
over
skip
the
this?
years. We're resigning as auditor June 30th. Thank you for everything. I really appreciate all the craziness you've made me do in the last 6 years.
Well, it's been almost as much of a pleasure working with you as it was with your dad.
No, thanks.
He was a lot more entertaining.
Let's try changing that.
Well, I'm gonna miss your professionalism and your knowledge. I
Yeah.
very much so.
We'll visit.
Our shoes to fill.
What the auditor's office is losing the county highway department's gaining.
Thanks.
Very supportive and very proud of you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
done well.
Just don't give me hives when I'm asking for things.
I told you after today. You want to send them back.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm sure you can't wait.
We'll have her to kick around.
This. I don't know if it's really a place to bring up in this meeting, but since Don's sitting here and we are the appropriation of money people. I've been briefly looking into metering system for the park, for the campers. I mean, I think that's something we need to discuss probably with the park board and the commissioners. I'm thinking we're gonna be somewhere $50,000-$60,000 maybe to get meters in. And we ought to recoup that money in 3 years.
I would agree with that.
That's fair.
I know that's been brought up, so yeah, I mean.
Because I've already talked to a few people about it. Just to get some ideas, some other people that have done it, and I know what their cost is. Maybe there's more involved out there, but the thing is. I mean, if I was camping out there and I was a weekend warrior, I left my camper there. Why would I turn the air conditioner off? There's no reason to,
Right.
but this is like your house now, and you watch your utilities at home, so you gotta watch it there. And I think that's the only fair thing for the taxpayers.
Absolutely.
Most campgrounds do that now
Oh,
anyway,
yeah.
because we brought that up before the park board meeting, so.
So I just wanted to bring that up. I have nothing else to say.
I think the biggest thing is the funding, if we can help fund them.
I think we pay through.
Well,
if you can't be the
Well, I
one.
will say, and I mentioned this to Rachel, since this is her last meeting, that's the other thing we want to look in the budget, Don, is I want to change their budget. And drop all those discretionary funds that they have now for maintenance and for capital expenditure. And have them start coming back to commissioners and the council to ask for those things. I just think it's time. I mean, they got started, I think they're doing okay. But it just makes more sense. It's a county department. It needs to have some more oversight.
Right.
You know, I mean, they do have a board and everything, but still the other boards come to you or us.
Done.
Okay. Anything? Howard?
I'm good. I just happen to have something that I'd like to bring up. So we're gonna start seeing solar money in 2025, correct?
Yes.
2026, we'll even have more coming in.
2025 will have just a small.
My point is this. I think we ought to, appoint a committee. To think about what the needs and what the uses for that money should be. I realize we have set things that we need to do out of it. But I know that if we have a lot of money in the checkbook, we don't always. Look at it as discreetly as if we had a plan on how to spend that money. And you and I've talked.
What we have, I mean, one of the things I'm talking to my township trustees and my constituency. Try to get some ideas already, and I've had some great ideas. And interestingly enough, a lot of it's been things like, I wish you guys would get more trails and connect my. Area with the other area, and it's been interesting, like it's been a lot of things like that about making life better in Starke County.
Well, and I think we should expand it beyond the trustees. I think we can find different people across the county.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, at the township level is what I meant, like having meetings in each township just specifically
I
to
think
talk about that.
People want for
Yeah.
their area.
Yeah. I mean,
Public. I think they would be a lot happier if they had a say in what.
Well, and I think we already started it by helping North Judson, by helping Sam Pier. You guys just talked about something helping Coons Lake. I mean, continuing that, just, but at that level, you know what I mean? Getting them involved for their needs. I like that idea.
maybe run it like the propel meetings, for about 30 and 31, you know, we get a board, and people split the posts and stickers.
Yeah, that was
You
gonna
have
be-
it in
we
each,
did that.
in each township, you
Yeah.
have a meeting in each township, and the public can come in, and put their little stickers up and.
That's probably the most effective thing. I'm on that board. That's the most effective thing I've seen on that whole board.
Haven't seen much after that though.
No, I'll be put the blood. I mean, I think I don't think we should. I'm not.
Except for that, there's not a.
That's all I
Six
got.
already scared him. Thank
I
you,
do have a
Bruce.
question,
Yeah.
maybe you can't answer this, I don't know.
I'll
Is
try.
Somebody in the economic development office now, I mean, until the other person gets started, I didn't hear from Janice on that.
I didn't know that Jerry was out, but it's still Jerry or
Okay.
I was there. I've been there a couple days recently too. You reminded me of the other thing. I won't make this long. The other thing is, and I've talked to Don about this already too, but, and I think I've talked individually, you know, here and there too, the lead track and the fire well. I volunteered to do that from the Economic Development Foundation while we didn't have a director. But as I learned more about that and those, especially the lead track being a very expensive asset. I feel like the commissioner appointment or one of the council appointments in the future should also lead that from our side. It's our asset. I mean, the director should be involved with the foundation and they can still, you know, help us with, you know, paperwork and other things like that. But I think moving forward, because I spent last week a lot of hours learning about lead tracks and maintenance and all these other things and the people that are supposed to be there to do it. And I did even find out even the maintenance company put us lower on the schedule and missed their quarterly, in fact, they're supposed to be there today. They haven't called me or contacted me and let me know what's going on, but I saw some things with my own eyes that need to be improved. And I think in the future, so we don't let that become deficient. Right now, straws and or Knox fertilizer and reagent are the two main consumers of that. But that's a lot of jobs that come into play if something happens to that track. And so, you know, there'll be some more bills coming to the commissioners and things for the maintenance, but you know.
On the development collect on that.
What we do is we set, and that's the other thing too, is the consumers, it gets collected, but it gets collected in the auditor's office, actually. For the lead track, the money gets collected in the auditor's office.
Rate, did we talk them into raise?
The foundation administers it though, and I just, you know, we can still work on all that, but I mean, we need to have eyes on our own asset. And I've been reporting to Don what I've been seeing and what's going on, and also, Don suggested, and I'm gonna do this too, and bring Rick out there. Not that he's gonna be doing anything or being responsible, but as right now, while I'm around, me not being the only one that knows how it all works and what to look at and who to contact and all that, so I'm putting it all together so we can do it. And the same with the firewall. I saw Jim Cook at church, but haven't gotten to more detail on that. But I think Don and I discussing that, just like the lead track, if they're the only consumer, then they should have the brunt of the fees from it. You know,
I talked to him about that. He did not disagree with that.
he did not either. I talked to him high level too, but I mean, as far as like getting a contract inked out, I'll keep working towards that, so. Don,
The only thing I got tied that for Stacy, the old recording quit in September.
So we got nothing?
Right, well, we'll have since you approved that.
Oh, okay.
But that's why she's asking.
Well, that's fine. I mean, we gotta have
I
it.
just want to tell you since
Okay.
you want here. That's what
You gotta have it. I mean.
Yeah,
do you think that has something to do with our meeting? Is Kevin Linebaugh online?
There's no one on
I think I should answer that. See, can you text him and see if he's got something for the meeting for me, please? It's his phone, so that's why I'm putting it on him. He's calling me right now.
You're not calling me.
He's calling me, but I'm running a meeting. Mini me.
I was gonna say, I'm looking right at it. He's not calling me.
I'm gonna start in the corner. Oscar, did you have anything to add or discuss?
No.
keeping us safe.
Ma'am, did you have anything? Sir, did you have anything?
No.
Anything else? Wow.
Disappointed. I mean, I'm up with something.
Sandy, no, I'll come up the side. When?
No.
Sarah,
Only 45 minutes. I mean.
Mandy.
We got 2.5 hours. I mean.
Yeah, I got two states and I'm like, I'm ready to
You do?
I'll be over at 45 minutes.
Hope the dogs aren't out, because I do that sometime. I come in the dog, I get on the floor and he's half of it.
No, they're in crates.
The states are?
Does anybody want to make a motion or any further discussion?
I move that we adjourn.
We have a motion from Bruce. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second from Todd, all those in favor, aye.
All right.